Good morning, good morning. Gee, it's great to start your day with coffee with Karma today. Good morning and happy Friday. We're going to step into the Wayback Machine for Fun Friday, and we're going to go way back into what could be your ancient past. It's kind of feels like mine. Remember back, oh, late 70s, early 80s, 80s, mid 80s, when all the video games were such a big hit. There was Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and Super Mario Brothers, which is still going strong, Prince of Persia, which became a movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Anyway, I remember even before that, I remember when my father brought home Pong. And I remember my sister and I were like, "What is this?" And we would spend hours, literally hours watching that little blip go bloop, 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 bloop. It's crazy. And then, of course, it wasn't that long before you had this explosion of games that were a little bit less pixely and a little bit more, detailed, and they became popular and are still popular today for a reason. Not only were they new and sensational at that time, but they keyed into some psychological hacks or tricks that grab their viewers and keep them coming back. And I am going to share 5 of those tactics that you can use to sell more books. So let's get to it. Number 1, Pac-Man. Beep, 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 beep. Who also did Miss Pac-Man, but basically, what Pac-Man did is a gamification badge that rewards you for taking action, and you can implement the same gamification technique in your book marketing. You could introduce badge awards similar to how Pac-Man collects fruits and power pellets, rewarding your readers for completing chapters or sharing the book, and you can bake that right into your book. Now, if your book's already out, you can launch a game that uses your book, but if you are in the process of writing your book right now, you can bake that in. How would you do this? Okay, so someone gets you can say at the beginning of the chapter, when you get to the end of the chapter, I have a gift for you. Now, some people would jump to the end of the chapter, so you need to make it so that if they do that, they realize, "Oh, I have to read this chapter in order to answer this question." And then what happens is like they have to go to a place on your website to answer the question, and in order to get the prize, they have to give you their name and email address, or they have to answer the question correctly or something like that. You be creative. Thing number 2, Prince of Persia. I never played the game, but I have always liked that idea, and I actually enjoyed the movie. Yeah, I'm a geek. What Prince of Persia did is release things in serial installments and had built-in cliffhangers, and you can do that with your book as well. You could release your book, like, in chapters. Now, I knew an author who did this. I interviewed him actually. Um Killian Patrick Burke. He's a horror author. And back when, uh, Yahoo had, like they were like groups, but they were like email groups. And what he did is he said, "Okay, you can join this group, and I'm gonna be releasing a chapter a week as I write them." And this became his book, Master of the Moors. I was actually part of that group. I actually copied and pasted and I have, like, copies somewhere buried in a hard drive somewhere of his original work, but it's now been polished and published by a publisher. It's called Master of the Moors by Killian Patrick Burke, and he did this. He serial released it, and I know that Stephen King has also done that, although I'm not sure his was his was as successful, which is odd because he's a bigger name. But you could do something like that. You could create a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group and say, "I'm gonna release this new chapter every week," and you promote it. Or you could do a special email list, even better because then they get on your email list, where you release a like a chapter or a couple of pages every week or so. You could do it over a year, and do like 12 chapters once a month, giving people enough time to read it. These are all different things you could do, and that's inspired by Prince of Persia. Number 3, Donkey Kong. Who doesn't love that big furry monkey, huh? Well, he released fun you could do inspired by Donkey Kong, you could release fun shareable Easter eggs and bonus content. You basically hide these Easter eggs just like they do on DVDs and this bonus content throughout your book, similar to hidden shortcuts and bonuses in Donkey Kong. And what this does, it gamifies your book. And people will be looking for those Easter eggs. They'll be reading on a different level than they would have been if they were just reading the book. Because they're trying to identify where are the Easter eggs and what are they. And you can even take it up a level. You can say, identify the Easter egg, come here and get a prize. And if they don't get it right, they don't get the prize. So people are like, we'll go back and reread your book trying to figure out what that Easter egg is. And that's inspired by Donkey Kong. Number 4, Super Mario Brothers. I know this is going strong because my youngest nephew has some Super Mario Brothers games. And they're still doing, like Princess whatever her name is, and Mario and Luigi and little mushroom people too. That's weird. Anyway, you can give early readers unlimited lives with preview chapters and exclusive live streams in a closed environment. So this could be part of your book launch. You could say, okay, if you join my book launch, excuse me. So you could say, if you join my book launch during this window, you're going to get access to a private group, which is going to have this private live stream or video series. And only people who join your book launch during that window get access to that content. So it's akin to giving players extra lives in Super Mario Brothers, allowing them to explore without the fear of running out of content. My nose itches. Don't know why my nose itches. Anyway, and last but not least, The Legend of Zelda. You can pepper in power-ups as incentives to buy your book. So what this means is you include bonuses and power-ups that enhance the reading experience, similar to finding hidden treasures and upgrades in Zelda. And when people get these, it basically it incentivizes them to participate in your launch, to buy your book, to write an honest review on Amazon because those reviews mean something. They really do. And I could use some reviews of my new book, Serve Up Your Book, which, by the way, this entire series of Coffee with Karma this week have all been brought to you by Serve Up Your Book this summer, which is a month-long event where I'm sharing all sorts of book marketing tips and tricks and advice. I've got webinars, I've got videos, I've got all sorts of things, and you can go to let's hang on. I probably should have set this up in advance, but oh well. You want to go to this URL. Want to go to this URL so that you can learn more about Serve Up Your Book this summer and get access to all of some of the past events are at the bottom, so you can go see the replays. Upcoming events are at the top, and it's all so that you can learn more about my book, Serve Up Your Summer, which is available on Amazon, and it explains the 5 phases of book marketing and walks you through that journey so that you can serve up your book to more people and attract more clients. This is Karma Spence saying